entering a cup race ever?
That's what Justin from Racing Insights just told me, so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to speak.
Wow.
So
Our pole sitter.
It is his race to lose today. I believe everybody sitting here at this desk for sure, also in the garage, is chasing that guy.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What makes SVG so darn good at road course racing?
I watched a lot of film on the last couple of years trying to figure out what makes him so good. It's just his comfortability under brake. Now, we talked a lot about his right foot braking. He's a little bit unique, but his comfortability under braking goes to that point of no return, where a guy like myself would go to that point of no return, and I'd get real nervous because if I make a mistake, I'm in the barrier. So I always had to go to like 98% of my braking zone to make sure I had a little bit of out. SVG can go to that 100% of braking every lap.
And when you're watching on Prime this race, watch the in-car cameras, watch how much the guys are moving their hands. And you maybe we'll have some foot cams, you'll see that. As a teammate to Marcus Ambrose, another V8 supercar driver, back in the day, I got to see firsthand what those guys can do with a car. I don't understand how they can do it, but Shane could somehow just get that car to do things in the center of the corner that's going to be faster than guys like us that grew up on an oval. I don't understand it, but it is magic to watch.
You know, somebody else that's pretty good at road course racing, Chase Elliott. He leads all active drivers with 7 wins on road courses, but 0 in the next-gen era. Right now, our most popular driver is sitting on a 42-race winless streak. You saw the odds there. I saw his crew chief, Alan Gustafson, this morning. He's cool, he's calm, he's relaxed. He knows his guy can do it. The question is, will we see Chase Elliott finally punch his ticket into the playoffs and win today?
Well, I believe on the way over here this morning, Marty
SVG is on the pole. The 88 call. Shane Van Gibson.
Get to ultimately where they want to go. He's got a tough road to hoe. We talked about it. We've got to execute. He's got to stay on the road all day, and I believe Alan's going to have a really good strategy to get the 9-car in position.
And one of the neatest things for me coming back to this series and be able to walk through the garage was, really the conversations like the one I had with Chase Elliott. He is such a calm, cool customer, so much confidence. Don't forget that he grew up in this sport. He understands the ebb and the flow of it with his father, Bill Elliott, having so much success. So I think Chase is confident. I think he's going to break through. It could be here. This is going to be
4 minutes. 4 minutes.
On the grid today, FanDuel is putting you in the driver's seat for race day. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. So fire up that FanDuel app now and hit the track. Your race day bonus is waiting. Well, we're waiting for the command, but we don't have to wait much longer. We are almost there. Back in just a moment with the invocation and the anthems.
Anthems and invocation and the command are coming up next.
Yeah, but no shot you beat me, Grace.
And they're off. Oh, just a slight rub. Oh, no. You cannot be happy about that. Miller Tech. Power your adventure.
Don't mess with Miller Tech.
Top house value menu. Everything's just
3 minutes.
Like the breakfast.
3 minutes.
$6. French toast breakfast. $6. $6 for all this and all that. That's a lot of breakfast for $6. Weekdays at IHOP.
Introducing Wegovy through Hims. Ready to lose up to 20% of your body weight or more? Through Hims, this FDA-approved treatment for weight loss is available for 50% off. Now you can feel confident about losing weight and keeping it off, all at an affordable price. Hims offers access to personalized weight loss treatment plans that promote sustained, long-term weight loss and improve your overall health. Get weight loss results that last with Wegovy through Hims. Start today at hims.com.
From racetrack to road, Mobile One Motor Oils make whatever you drive more beautifully.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
I'm coming in fast, first place, coming in last. I'm in that, I'm in that, loud. No shit, deep popping, not no shit. I put it in, put it in my shit.
Welcome to Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez for
Auto Moto
Cup Series Racing presented by by 2.
Hermano Rodríguez,
The grid is packed, fans are filling in, and we are so excited to have
250.
you joining us live on Prime. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first International Cup points race in the modern era. I'm
First
proud to
International Race
driver Corey LaJoy
Cup.
and the man who participated in 4
1 minute.
races here, Hall of Famer Carl Edwards. Guys, what stands out as we get close to going green?
Well, I'm going to go a little bit something different here. We've talked about racing. We've talked about the trip down here. But what stood out to me more than anything was yesterday as we listened to the United States national anthem being sung by just this wonderful group of kids. And I thought, man, when we sit in the United States and we think about Mexico, right, we think about all sorts of things. We've got border and we've got all sorts of issues and concerns. But to know that those children are here practicing our national anthem and to deliver it in such a beautiful way, to welcome us, I think it's just bigger. It's the biggest thing.
Sports is such a great unifier, isn't it? We are making history today. NASCAR running in Mexico City. Now, let's turn it over to the public address announcer for the invocation and anthems. Here's Charlie Cansano.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we go racing here in Mexico City, we want to take a moment to recognize some truly special guests. Mayor of Iztacalco, Alcaldesa de Iztacalco, Mrs. María de Lourdes Paz.
I'm going to let them pronounce this.
Head of the Tourism Promotion Fund, Mr. Carlos Martinez Velázquez. Managing Director, NASCAR Mexico City Weekend, Director General, NASCAR Mexico City Weekend, Mr. Federico González. NASCAR Commissioner, Steve Phelps. NASCAR President, Steve O'Donnell. Executive Vice President of Venues and Racing Innovation at NASCAR, Ben Kennedy. NASCAR is proud to celebrate those who represent the spirit of racing and the pride of this vibrant community. Please rise as you are able and remove your hats as Father Francisco Javier Guzmán Carreño offers today's invocation.
God, word, strength, and God, will bring in this rain. In the name of the Father, in the Son, in the Spirit, amen. Good Lord, Queen de Reyes. Dios, tú eres nuestra fortaleza y nuestra meta. Dios bendice esta carrera. En el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Amén. Buena suerte en la carrera.
Please remain standing as the United States Embassy of Mexico City's Marine Security Guard Detachment, Color Guard, presents the colors of America. And now, presenting the colors of Mexico is the Banking and Industrial Police of Mexico City Color Guard. Here to perform the American and Mexican national anthem, please welcome the Eaton School of Mexico Chorus, directed by Adriana Sánchez del Olmo.
Oh, say, can you see? What's so proudly we
I'm going up to a lot.
at the twilight's last gleaming, whose were stripes and bright stars, through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming,
In rockets,
I was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
that was the U.S. anthem. Now the Mexican anthem.
Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero apresar y el rigor, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra, al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiembla en sus centros la tierra, al sonoro rugir del cañón. Señor patria, tus sienes de oliva, de la base arranca el divino, que en el cielo tu eterno destino, por el dedo de Dios se escribió. Nació Sario, un extraño enemigo, profanar con su planta tu suelo, que su patria querida del cielo, un soldado en cada hijo te dio, un soldado en cada hijo te dio. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero apresar y el rigor, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra, al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiembla en sus centros la tierra, al sonoro rugir del cañón.
Fuerte aplauso para
Yeah.
This moment has been 63 years in the making. NASCAR is making history in Mexico City. Command to fire engines coming up next.
New to Toyota Gazoo Racing, there are a lot of unofficial rules. Rules like only pass cars on the left. Don't drive on the grass. When you win, be humble. And you know what they say, rules are made to be broken. You in?
That's my team out there.
If our network goes down, lives are at stake.
Our comms have to work.
Well, the mission won't.
That's why we partner with Verizon Frontline, the network that truly prioritizes first responders.
So we don't worry about getting through. And they're the most reliable 5G network in America.
Out here.
And folks, I had to take a phone call.
Verizon Frontline members.
The number one network.
They are getting in the vehicles right now. I'll be right back. I'm back.
He's looking to sweep the weekend coming off the Xfinity Series win yesterday. Carl, how's the Cup race going to look and feel different?
Well, there's nothing simple about Mexico City. There is nothing simple about this race. If you look at what Archie said, something is going to catch you off guard here. Kyle Larson said it is going to be a dynamic, crazy race, and the guy who solves problems the best is going to succeed.
I agree. And also, two different categories. There's the aggressive ones, and there's ones that go a little bit too far. They're desperate because they think that this is their opportunity to get into the playoffs. And whoever can manage that aggressiveness and not really desperation, because desperation here, Carl, will fight you.
All about making no mistakes, right? But that is easier said than done. Our leaders in the booth make mistake-free days look easy. I know it's anything but they are up to the challenge, and history is being made today. Let's send it over to Steve Letarte, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Adam Alexander.
Thank you, Danielle. We're fired up. We're ready to go. First Cup race here in Mexico City. First point race outside the U.S. since 1958. Today is big, and Dale, it will be challenging.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. There's some really tricky braking zones on this racetrack. We obviously have some weather that's in the area all weekend long, throwing a lot of guesswork into the weekend for the teams.
Well, guesswork for sure. And everybody talks about the racetrack and how it's difficult, but sometimes we forget we're over 7,000 feet in elevation. The air is thinner. That hurts those drivers' lungs as they try to catch their breath lap after lap. Those engines are the same as they try to get the air to require to make that horsepower. They will struggle on the brakes. They will overheat in an instant.
Steve, let's talk about the fan favorite. That's Daniel Suarez. Let's begin with yesterday. Coming from the back in a backup car and winning here was amazing.
You heard what it meant to him when he joined everyone on stage earlier today. The 33-year-old from Monterrey, Mexico, went to victory lane, and I don't think I appreciated it until I heard the crowds roar. Rarely do we see a driver that I believe is supported by every fan in every seat in this entire racetrack. We will see if that support is a distraction. I don't believe so. I think it's momentum, it's motivation. I think he's living out his childhood dream. He's running in the Cup Series in his home country.
SVG, Shane Van Gisbergen has stolen the show, though, this weekend with speed. This guy set on the pole. And you think about what's happened to him since he won that big race in Chicago in 2023. He's been normalized a little bit at the road courses that we traditionally go to. But here in Mexico, this is a new track for everybody. He's got his advantage back. He's back on the pole, and he has to win. Back in 33rd in points to make the playoffs, he has to be aggressive today.
He and Suarez in the same situation, outside the top 25 in points. If they're going to run for a championship, they need to win a race. With that, we go to the standings. 9 drivers have won this year. They're locked in. But with 11 races to go to the championship chase, go to the cut line. They're tied there. And then I look at A.J. Allmendinger. He can win this race and put himself into the championship equation.
Not on this sheet. Mike McDowell is very strong this weekend. He can win as well. There's a lot of threats to that cut line.
And you guys keep talking about wins. So let's not forget points.
I'll
Drivers
be
in the game with points.
right back,
Road courses
everybody.
are difficult. There will be a lot of
Stay
decisions along the
tuned
way.
for the
Do you
time.
hit? Do you stay out? And do you make the right decision? We'll find out when the race is over.
The anxiety level is on high. It's time to get going in Mexico City. Let's go trackside now for the command.
Mexico City, here to deliver the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome today's Grand Marshal, NASCAR Hall of Famer and Vice Chairman of Hendrick Motorsports. Ciudad de México, necesito que hagan ruido, porque vamos a presentar al Grand Marshal, nada más y nada menos. Él es Jeff Gordon.
Hola, Mexico! Pilotos, start your engine!
That too.
We're in a road course, and Jeff Gordon still got it. Time to turn it up in Mexico City. We're green next. It's NASCAR on Prime.
A Chewy order is on the way for Rex, who wrecks everything he gets his jaws on. So Mom and Dad use Chewy Live Chat to learn that puppyhood can last
up to 2 years.
and to get helpful tips on getting Rex under control, like trying enrichment toys. And maybe a crate. And definitely a slow feeder. For helpful humans in the 24/7 support. For life with pets, there's Chewy.
There's a place named Apple Showroom where GR cars turn into full-blown track beasts. Every apex we nail, every second we shave, it's all knowledge that goes right back into your ride. You in?
Ever since we hired Dale Jr. at IHOP, breakfast has been moving fast.
All right, we'll play the pancakes on the third table green. Go!
Is that Dale Jr.?
Order for catering? Look, it's pancakes!
I'm in delivery catering.
Will you send my pancakes?
Really, 20 race. It's about survival. We have one shot at an opportunity to make this successful.
Welcome to more new ways to watch. A 5-race stretch only on Prime. More bright lights, more Nashville nights, more Motor City speed, more passion unleashed, more history made, more precision display, more moments you can't miss. And for the first time, only on Prime. Welcome to NASCAR.
Already it's NASCAR on Prime. Today it's round 16 in Mexico City. This place is outstanding, and the race, no doubt, will deliver today. Qualifying happened yesterday. Let's get to our starting grid presented by Chewy. For the road, Shane Van Gisbergen looking for his second career victory when he was first in Chicago 2 years ago. And Ryan Priest comes in tied at the cut line when you look at the playoffs. Ross Chastain got his first career win at the Circuit of the Americas. Ty Gibbs coming off his best run of 2025. Row 3, Michael McDowell. He's won on a road course that came at Indianapolis. And Kyle Larson, who has won 6 times on the road. Just behind them in row 4, Todd Gilliland, best ever run Indianapolis on the road 2 years ago. And A.J. Allmendinger. All 3 of his victories at the cup level coming in row 4 competition. Row 5, Joey Logano, our reigning champ. Next to the fan favorite, Daniel Suarez. Let's go to Marty Snyder.
Adam, some late-breaking news for Shane Van Gisbergen, the pole sitter for today's race, who felt fine all morning. But before the drivers' meeting, he told his crew chief, Stephen Booner, I don't feel well. And in the drivers' meeting, he said, man, I really do not feel well. They were able to get some medicine for SVG before he climbed in the car, but he got to the car very late, and clearly a sickness has come up. He's going to have to cut it out for the laps here at Mexico City today.
Man, that sounds tough. We'll continue the starting grid in row 6. We have Kyle Busch, who sits right on top of that playoff cut line, and Chase Elliott. Row 7 is Vegas winner Josh Berry and the Family Dollar Toyota of Eric Jones. Back in row 8, effort by Riley Hurts. And one of the favorites to win today, the 17 of Chris Buescher. Row 9 has Spire Motorsports Justin Haley and Nashville winner Ryan Blaney. In row 10, 2 drivers we should see work their way through the field. Chase Briscoe, first win of the season, and Talladega winner Austin Cindric. Now let's get down to Trevor for more on Chase Elliott.
Yeah, Chase Elliott is a driver we cannot forget or count out on a road course. 7 wins, leads the field of drivers all time in wins here, but he is not yet one of the next-gen car. He's been trying to figure this out, how to balance that calmness that Carl Edwards talked about with the aggression that it takes in this era to be successful. 42 wins since his last points-game win. Alec Gustafson, though, feels like the long-run speed is there for the Stein car today.
Thank you, Trevor. Back to the starting grid in row 11. We have the 35-year-old Austin Dillon behind that famed number 3, as well as Tyler Reddick, a 3-time road course winner. Row 12,
The 77 of Carson Hochevar, Mr. Excitement. It will start next to Zane Smith. Row 13, the 61 points currently above the line will start next to Cole Custer. Row 14, William Byron, a two-time road course winner, will start next to Ty Dillon out of College Racing. Row 15, Alex Bowen, who won Chicago Street Course a year ago. He'll line up next to Brad Keselowski. Kim.
Well, Carson Hocevar and his team come into Mexico City very encouraged after the strength they've shown the last 3 weeks. But with a road course, there are a lot of questions when it comes to this race and strategy. Crew Chief Luke Lambert told me he came here relatively confident on what he thought he would do strategy-wise. But after watching yesterday's Xfinity Series race, he said he is now very unsure on how they will play it. Flexibility, he said, is going to be key here this afternoon.
I am back.
Ken, now let's look at drivers starting outside the top 30, row 16. You got Christopher Bell, who won the first road course race this year at Circuit of the Americas, next to his Toyota teammate, John Hunter Nemechek. Row 17, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Cody Ware. Behind them in row 18, you got Noah Gregson, who's in a backup car after crashing earlier this weekend, and Ryan Truex in for Denny Hamlin. Hamlin home with his new baby boy. Happy Father's Day, Denny. And rounding out the field today, Catherine Legg making her second start of 2025. Back to Kim. House Jr. and Cody Ware. Behind them in row 18, you got Noah Gregson, who's in a backup car after crashing earlier this weekend, and Ryan Truex in for Denny Hamlin. Hamlin home with his new baby boy. Happy Father's Day, Denny. And rounding out the field today, Catherine Legg making her second.
Yeah.
Earlier this season.
Doors will open, no doubt. When you talk about strategy for Bell, coming from deep in the field, already 3 victories this year. Talk about so much how good he was early in the campaign. Now we get to our track facts brought to you by Subway.
Well, we've talked about just how difficult this road course is. 15 total corners, 2.42 miles. This front straightaway, nearly 4,000 feet, the second longest in all of NASCAR, and for sure the highest elevation at over 7,300 feet above sea level. Let's talk about this track. Let's take a look at it. An awesome drone camera's going to take us for a lap around here. Down this long front straightaway, 4,000 feet into a heavy braking zone. Restarts will be wild down here to turn 1. Go through this little quick back and forth. You need your car to change directions to get out of turn 3 down this long straightaway. Another difficult braking zone at the end here into turn 4. You got a sweeper, pretty simple corner to get through once you're in it. And then you got a very difficult switchback of 5, 6, 7, and then 8, 9, as well as 10. You have to get through those corners one after the other perfectly to set you up for a passing zone into the braking in turn 11. That is the corner. You can make a lot of mistakes there. You can also make a lot of mistakes here in your club stadium section, 12, 13, 14, 15. Get through there really good. It presents you with another passing opportunity at the end of this long front straightaway. Really fun racetrack. The drivers are having a lot of fun with the challenges.
You know the best every time we come to a new venue or anytime on the road. Now, starting 6 today,
Yeah, there's so much strategy to play out today here, Adam, in Mexico City, as some raindrops I see here on pit road. Cliff Daniels, how do you call this race where it could be wet, it could be dry, and there's so many strategy plays?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to take it as it comes, and we've certainly discussed all the scenarios of rain, you know, what's going to look like if there's a lot of tire fall off. Coming here, I think we thought it was going to be a pretty straightforward 2-stop race, but that looks a little different now. So we had to do a lot of work to our Valvoline Chevy, you know, just trying to get a hold of the tractor in practice, but I think we're in a better spot now. So we're going to take it as it comes. I know Kyle's going to do a great job for us, the technical also, and just try to make sure we're there at the end.
All right, Steve, I think Cliff said it. It's not going to be straightforward. It's never straightforward for you crew chiefs, is it?
No, never straightforward. A lot of preparation goes into it. This weather just makes it even more complicated. We're starting to see just a few raindrops on some of the roof cameras. Here you see this Ford Performance onboard of Austin Centric. You see the drops coming down. Remember now, if you're tuning in for your first time, this rain shower will not cancel the race on the road courses. These cars are equipped with wet weather equipment. They have these tires that run lights. We also have wet weather tires. So these drivers will continue to radio in as we go around this circuit and decide. So far, I still think it's good for drive.
You know, you talk about the wet, and there's one theory that you get a wet racetrack and it really opens things up because it creates chaos and makes it a wild card. The other theory is it exaggerates the advantage for those drivers that are so good at this style of racing.
Everything is going to exaggerate the advantage because of the challenges. So we talk a lot about the elevation, and I think the person at home can understand that, hey, when you just can't get a big breath of fresh air, it hurts your lungs, you can't run as fast. Well, the cars as well. The elevation affects them dramatically. Let's go into the prime garage and take a look. It starts with the aero effects. Thick air pushes down, a lot of downforce, and also heavy drag. The car has to cut through that thick air. Well, as we thin the air up, the downforce goes down, the drag goes down, so it's faster down the straightaways. But let's go under the hood and talk about the other real big effects. Two that jump out. One, the air going into the engine. But my concern would be the air going into the brakes. This high altitude does not cool very well. This thinner air, you try to get as much as you can in, but if your driver does not take care of them, these brakes are going to overheat. The pedal's going to fade, and you're just going to have no overall stopping power. So basically, a little less power, a little less downforce, less drag, less cooling. So it kind of does everything you want it to do the wrong way. It's faster down the straightaways and less drag. It doesn't stop as good when you get there, Adam. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward.
And this is the most that I think we've heard the drivers talk about, not only the tire fall off, the tire degradation over the course of the practice run, but also brakes. Losing brakes in just a 12-lap run. Yeah, having the pedal fade, that's just very, very new. And it shows.
Hey, Butterfly, if you're watching this,
Adam, we mentioned the drops here.
can you drop the link?
But NASCAR asked Shane Van Gisbergen, hey, what's your opinion on the track? Is it good to go? He said, yes, I think it's fine. Let's throw the green.
I'm with him. Let's go. I'm ready.
I was going to say, I know. I don't want to wait any longer. I mean, we got here on Thursday, and we've had so much fun the last 3 days, but I am so fired up to get this race going.
Just clear up real quick, because we're starting in the drive. We do get a rain shower. NASCAR will throw the caution, then the team will have to adapt. But we'll have a yellow if we get a rain shower.
All weekend long, these guys have been on this racetrack by themselves, not in traffic. They're going to have a lot more trouble getting down force, getting the grip, getting into the braking zones now, stacking traffic around them. Look for all these mistakes these drivers may start to make early in this race.
The scene here is amazing. You can just feel the electricity. It's a history-making day in NASCAR. Van Gisbergen and Priest up front. As they come off the turn 15, we are green.
Buddy, let's go! In Mexico. Wide open.
Shane Van Gisbergen trying to stay a little bit low.
Going to turn one. Heavy braking zone.
Gisbergen the advantage in 2, 3. 3 and 4 wide, trying to get through 2 and 3. 77.
Whoa, off the course to 77.
Was the first one off track today. We know he's going to get after it. He's not afraid of contact.
We thought turn 1 would be a very difficult braking zone. Turn 4 has been a big surprise this weekend. All the drivers in there cleanly. We've seen a lot of tire smoke, a lot of lockup, more than ever before in any other practice at a road course. So
yeah,
plant spots of tires today. That will make your stints very difficult.
I have one.
So far, everybody's through all the S's and off into turn 11. This is another difficult braking zone. We saw
and it's you see right here on board with the prime onboard camera on Chase Elliott, you see the drops. You know, we have the rain right here out in front of us in the booth. Heavy mist. That's a heavy rain. I wouldn't even call it a mist, but definitely a good idea for NASCAR to get the caution out before anybody gets off in. There's not a lot of area to, there's some runoff in certain parts of the track. Let's say, for example, coming out of the stadium right here, there's walls everywhere. If we had any kind of an issue, the drivers let's drive through there, right? Underneath that little canopy, you come out there into the wet, hit that wall, it could be a big trouble for the rest of the day. So smart by NASCAR to get the caution out here.
Stage 1.
We'll step aside. Early caution for rain in Mexico City.
Only caution for rain.
Shady Rays sunglasses. Break them or lose them. We'll replace them. Easy.
Hang on, folks.
Kyle's gonna need new Shady Rays tight.
Let's get him another pair. It's fast.
Shady Rays. Eyewear that has your back.
From racetrack to road, Mobile One Motor Oils make whatever you drive.
I don't think they completed a lap.
When my doctor gave me Breztri for my COPD, I noticed things changed. Breztri gave me better breathing starting within 5 minutes. It also reduced flare-ups.
Breztri won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not.
Hey, if
for
you're
us.
watching
Tell
that
your doctor if you
People
have a
Give It
condition or
show,
high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breztri more than prescribed.
or if
Breztri
you're
may
watching
increase
a
your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsening
bot
breathing, chest pain,
stream
mouth or tongue
that's
swelling,
actually
problems
showing
breathing,
it,
vision changes,
come
or
on
may
in.
occur.
Do me a favor. If it's not either myself or on the go with CeeLo, report it. Basically.
When you decide to step up to this kind of play, this kind of fun.
Ollie!
This kind of experience.
Hey guys, why are you dressed like you're in a boy band?
Let the games begin. Nintendo Switch 2 altogether anytime, anywhere. Rated E for everyone.
A new era of the WNBA is on Prime. The skills, the thrills, the dreams. All eyes on the 30. Mercury, Liberty, followed by Fever, Valkyries. Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Prime.
Get one lap, early caution for rain. Pit road is open.
These teams will come down. I'm assuming they're all going to go to wet weather tires. Looking at the rain right here. Very small boxes. Going to be very busy, Trevor.
These will be competitive stops here to 71, opting to come down and put on rain tires. At first they weren't sure, but now the rain has really picked up here on the front stretch.
Ty Gibbs in that 54 middle of your screen, just like Trevor said, going to put on wet weather tires for Ty Gibbs. Never
Yeah.
that Xfinity race yesterday, felt very confident today, Marty.
Shane Van Gisbergen going to go to the wets here as well. Already got the windshield wiper working. As you can see, he's in pit stall number 1. And you would think SVG, with his experience in the rain, would love racing in the rain. He told me this morning, I actually can't stand it. I do not like racing in the rain, but we'll see if that experience pays off. His teammate Ross Chastain will win the race off pit road as everybody goes to wets here in Mexico City.
Walk us through the whole situation again here, Steve, because a couple guys that are out behind the pace car, but this is the equipment that these teams have to use when they come to a race where you could run the wet.
Yeah, so you see the windshield wiper pretty straightforward. Running light is basically a light. You see it on the graphic there. That's more for visibility. It's not a brake light. It doesn't work with the brake pedal. It's just running the whole time. The defogger's inside the car. Hopefully yours works well to keep the windshield clear. The rain flaps are what you see down behind the rear tires. Think about a mud flap on a big tractor trailer. These flaps are really just to reduce spray. These cars have more than enough grip. It's the vision that's the challenge when it comes to the rain. And then the wet tires, which are optional. You said those two cars that stay on the racetrack. That tells me that they're still on slicks. That is going to be an adventure. And they may just want to get one more lap. Maybe they'll think it's too wet and they'll abort and go to these treaded tires. This is what a rain tire looks like, much like your street tire at home, has the tread to dissipate the water.
The conditions of this racetrack are getting worse by the second, and I'm just shocked by those two guys who want to stay out there on the slicks. That's going to be so difficult with the field behind you, all over the back of you on these wet tires with a little bit more grip. For a driver, when you're put in this situation, there's only a couple things you really need to be concerned with. Obviously, stay off the paint. Any kind of painted surface or stripe. There's some curbs on the outside of the braking zone of turn left, for example. It's literally paint on the racetrack. There's no curb at all. It looks like a curb. Stay off of that. That's going to be very slick in a braking zone like that. Also, you want to get in the wet on the straightaways. Keep the temperature out of the tires. So fine water as the lane tends to dry up. The racing line tends to dry up. Find the wet part of the racetrack down the straightaway to keep the temp down in the tire. And when you can, run offline a little bit. Don't run in the racing line. That's where all the oil and dirt and residue collects. It'll get really slick with that water on top. And so you want to run offline when you can to find grip when it's really wet. Right now, I think they'll probably, there's not a lot of opportunity to really get offline in some of these sections of the racetrack, but you're going to try to do that when you can.
Drivers are going to get one more lap under yellow. Check out the track conditions. We mentioned a tight pit road and competitive pit stops. On board right here, Chase Elliott trying to lead. The 4 coming in. Oh, the 35 squeezing. The 9 has to come to a stop. No harm, no foul, but close conditions.
Yeah, real close conditions.
Business, our business. Pros everywhere you need us. With every part you need. From brake pads to stock your shop in Orange County, California. Brake pads. To oil filters for your fleet in Orange County, Florida. It's why we built a nationwide network of parts and exceptional service, all driven by one mission: to keep businesses big, small, and everything in between moving full speed ahead. There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. The heartbeat's strong, steady, unwavering, like the people who keep this country moving, doing what they do best. Helping neighbors, pitching in, getting it done. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. And every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Subway's footlongs are packed with protein, like the Ultimate BNT or the All-Pro Sweet Onion Chicken Teriyaki with 58 grams of protein. And now, Subway MVP Rewards members can buy any footlong in the app and get another for just $1. Fuel up now in the Subway app.
Just for you, just for you, just for you.
Hey, nighttime Republican Party.
Through HIMSS, you can get treatment for weight loss, ED, and hair loss. It's made just for you.
You can run the perfect race.
Denny Hamlin leading the pack on the final lap.
And then, boom.
Oh, Hamlin's hit. Hamlin is out of it.
That's true in racing and life. When debt hits hard, National Debt Relief helps you take control, so you can pay less than you owe in less time than you think. When life wrecks your finances, National Debt Relief helps you get back on track. Visit nationaldebtrelief.com to get started today.
This Saturday, the NASCAR Xfinity Series blazes into summer with a Pocono showdown. Let's turn loose. And as the temperature rises, so do the tempers. Every week it's doing something. Party's a break his defense. Vets like Austin Hill look to hold off Connor Zilic and the rest of the red-hot rookies.
Yeah.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series Pocono. This Saturday, live at 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific on the CW.
Hey, race day fans, find your favorite driver and official NASCAR merchandise, including the new Echo Pop, by searching Shop the Race in the Amazon shopping app.
We talked about decisions all day long. Well, a big decision, I call it an absolute gamble. The 17 of Busch or the 2 of Cindric are on the racetrack with slicks. Yellow Goodyear tires. The other ones have white. You see slicks on the right, treaded on the left. Those slicks work in the dry, but they are icy in the wet. They were both outside the top 15. I think this is a gamble. If they stay out, I don't see how this is going to work in turn 1. Now, it's still pouring. It's still pouring on the racetrack all the way around. So still getting wetter and wetter. Look at that on board right there. Oh, they could hit, right? They might not, but they could.
Here they go. We'll see how this works out.
Trackhouse teammates behind him. Van Gisbergen, look at Ross Chastain, and they're already sliding around.
Yeah, they're unable to get the power down. Buscher is going to be in big trouble. Chastain really wide here around Cindric.
Boogie, boys. We're back on the green.
Flag number 54 to the inside. He might be the race leader in turn 1, right next to Cindric.
Cindric's going to have to be careful here in the braking zone. Can he get the car slowed down? No. He's locking up tires. Locked up the right front tire there. Buscher seems to be struggling even more so.
And patience is going to run thin behind those cars that can't keep up.
And it is so tight when you come off the 3, and then you hit this area of the track to come to 4.
They're just barely able to get on the gas. Think about trying to use the throttle with an egg between your foot and the throttle and not crack that egg. That's what you're trying to do, getting on the gas out of these corners, trying to keep the tires from spinning, and there's going to be some contact. But this is running off line. Rochester ain't way out of the groove, but that's where the grip is.
Yeah.
Look at 60 there, starving for grip. You don't want to be on that paint. You're going to have no grip trying to go to throttle there.
Look at Van Gisbergen. Full contact with his teammate. Priest waiting in the wings. This for 3rd.
This track is already very slick, and the teams were very worried about this track having rain on it and getting wet. They thought that this is definitely probably, I will say, they're all going to get out here and say this is the least amount of grip that they've ever had in these race cars. Look at all these guys having issues on the entrance to 4, the top left of your screen. Bunch of guys went straight, bottom right, 3 wide, entering the stadium, slipping and sliding. I imagine Cedric is going to have to come to pit road here as he's 4 wide in turn 12.
You talk about putting 20 pounds of potatoes in a 10-pound bag. We are squeezing them through the stadium.
Do they dare risk another lap? Or does the 17 and the 2 come to pit road? No. They stay on the racetrack. They're committed to this strategy.
What about it, Trevor?
Yeah, the 17 and 2 feel like this is the hardest conditions to make that decision with. It's right in between. There's no standing water. There's no dry patches. You're right in the middle of that decision as we see Cedric kind of hanging on to some track position here with that call that they made.
I understand the gamble. I just don't agree with the risk. They were running 17 to 21st. They weren't last. They had some track position, and I'm afraid you could easily just spit off course and lose every chance you have. Even with a damn racetrack, this rain tire holds on really well, provides a ton of grip. As long as you get it in the wet, get it in the puddles on the straightaway to keep the temperature out of it, that tire will really hold on really well, even as this track dries out. So I don't see the advantage or any advantage coming down the road for the 17 or the 1 or the 2. Side by side for second, the 88 and the 1. 88 is
88 and 1 side by side for second. Come on in if you're brand new. Disregard all the bots in the chat. Come on in.
Be a point where the slicks are just faster overall. We're nowhere near that right now. You see the windshield wipers going. How about the biggest movers? Bella, 15 spots already. There he is right there, the white line, Mobile 1, number 20. This is going to be a great look, because this is what you're seeing as the Toyota onboard camera. Look at the windshield. View is actually better than I thought. Visibility pretty decent. Let's look what the spray looks like, though, as we get down the straightaway. Look at that. Spray continues to get worse and worse. Windshield wiper basically teasing you with about 2 inches of dry.
Teasing, that is the right word.
And a lot of the other road courses, we have a ton of spray because of the speeds. Here it's so slow, I think the spray is going to be very manageable for the teams. Visibility very good. Kim?
Well, as we look at Joey Logano currently running in the 32nd position, came off
Yeah.
the road in the 33rd position after starting this race nice. What happened? Well, during that pit stop, they did not get the left tight. He actually went a box forward. They realized it. He had to back up to tighten that so they would not suffer a loose or lost wheel. And then it's put them way behind in the running order.
Yeah, that great qualifying effort yesterday, but down 24 spots since the start of this race. Fastest lap of the day belongs to Shane Van Gisbergen. He's second right now, 2 seconds behind race leader. Yes, there goes Kyle Busch.
There goes Rowdy.
Justin Haley, Kyle Larson goes around Zane Smith, and the 19 is Chase Briscoe.
Here comes the 2. Big damage for the 5 of Kyle Busch. Saw the toe link on the right front. Killed. The 8, the rear toe link on it, destroyed. Look at the back of the 7 car as he pulls away, destroyed. That was a massive hit. Kyle Busch just lost all traction as the rear brakes locked up on the entry to that corner.
Second caution, 7 laps in.
Let's take a look exactly what happened, Dale. You mentioned it. It was on braking. Here's Kyle Busch, and he is on the brakes, and it is just not going, and he loses rear grip. The car behind him the same way. And then it's just pinballs down here in the corner. The 38 of Zane Smith was kind of chasing the 8 in. They both lost rear grip, and then Cedric, he comes in on those slicks. No chance to slow down. Yeah, it was like those guys, they're out there in that traditional line trying to brake and slow the car down in that traditional line. And as it gets wet, you got to sort of offset a little bit and use really to find that grip.
And he never saw that coming. Right. Smith next year. Get this thing stopped, Zane.
Gilman. He was in position to be collected. Somehow maneuvers through into third.
Yeah. Wow, big crash. Big crash.
Mr. Hayes, you gave up racing.
Yep.
You gambled professionally. You're bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
You wish you'd done differently?
Yeah.
Drive the car. You're really good at it.
Relax the life.
A Chewy order is on the way for Dash, who was just rescued yesterday by Dave, who's realizing in real time his new dog has a thing for squirrels. And there's Chewy, where Dave will order a harness and everything else Dash needs in life, like delicious food, because squirreling can work up quite an appetite. For low prices and fast shipping for life with pets, there's Chewy.
From racetrack to road, Mobile One Motor Oils make whatever you drive more beautifully.
To tell you the truth, we could take or leave the extravagance.
Yeah.
The attention, the celebrity, the bragging rights, the bravado. Because all we've ever really wanted is for every Ford driver to feel this.
Whenever we're set up for long runs, this is a huge season for us. I'm sorry, I just don't think running pre-sales will
Please be careful. We'll worry about you.
Here I am. Remember, have fun up there.
Smiling first can help someone find the courage to do the same.
Jack Links presents the greatest duo.
There's nothing like a great duo. Two flavors, one guy. New Jack Links duos.
Experience the
Hey,
impressive Garage 56 with a 24-hour Le Mans. A team fueled by innovation and driven to make history. American watch it only on Prime. Looking at Zane Smith. There you see him sitting idle on the pit lane. It's our FanDuel onboard camera. He's one of those drivers collected in this incident 7 laps in Mexico City. Larson on the board. Haley. All started with Kyle Busch. AJ Allmendinger getting a piece of the action. Chase Briscoe mentioned Zane Smith already did a work.
Yeah.
Years back, they would be out of the race. Not so much here. You have the ability to repair them. You can't change anything and everything. There is a list of parts that you're allowed to change. I'm looking at all these cars. I think they're going to be within that list of parts. And if the rain continues to fall, Trevor, chaos may ensue. So getting repaired and back on the racetrack could be valuable points.
17 car coming down now to rip the Band-Aid off. They off with the first line. The stand slick that they're going to put on West. The 2 cars stay next to with the first push of the meeting. These conditions right now are super challenging for the crew chiefs, as we mentioned. It's just barely missing. That's why the 2 cars stayed out, Kim.
And a couple takers on my end of pit road. The 22 of Joey Gano coming down for fuel only. Didn't really feel like they had much track position to lose by topping off. And then the 24, they actually changed tires. Williams saying, though, that turn 4 braking zone, he's starting to lock up the rear.
A lot of great information. You heard Booker's radio, so it was a drive decision. To be honest, I'm going to need some help if I'm top of the pit box. I can look at the radar, but it's a whole lot. You think it's too wet? You think it's going to drive? I mean, Cedric stayed out in the 11th position. I can't tell you how good of a job the driver of the 2 is doing to be able to pull this move off right here. We saw the 8 and the 38 under braking. They had the groove tires on board this Ford Performance Cam for Cedric. He's inside the top 15 on slicks. This is outstanding.
The other thing I would say, she could have just better be lucky than good. Let's say that they had come down and done the conventional thing and they would just do the rain tires what everyone else did. Maybe that puts their track position right in the middle of the accident. Neither one of them get involved and they live to fight another day. And we'll see what Cindric does here. And over the long run, track conditions continue to change. The other thought is the points impact. Kyle Busch comes in tied at the cut line. We know what a great opportunity race this is for him and AJ Allmendinger. Now they find themselves squarely behind the 8, no pun intended.
On board with Ty Gibbs, our leader with the energy.
Yeah, I'll come back on camera once we are under green.
Series. It's a tough year, way into the points, in a must-win situation every single week. We're going to check out some more on board that we have for today. This is Ryan Truex, driving for Denny Hamlin this weekend with Toyota Racing on board. And then the City Road on board. Go to the 99, Daniel Suarez, the Telcel on board.
This is his favorite place, the stadium. And another driver that could get it done today, Michael McDowell, the Blaster on board camera. Marty?
Adam, Steve mentioned there's a damaged vehicle policy work area. That's where Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch have both come to. These teams trying to get this work done in the allotted amount of time that NASCAR gives them. Fairly significant right front and actually right rear damage they found for Kyle Larson once he came back. For Kyle Busch, the damage is worse. The right rear, also left rear has some damage as well. So they're going to be up against the clock to get all the changes done, Adam.
Back on the green.
Here comes Daniel Suarez jumping out of line, trying to make something happen down the front straightaway.
What was going on there? He lost a little bit of momentum as the 43 goes by. As they all head back down into the braking zone, trying to stay low here, block any moves, any dive bombs to the inside.
Dive bombs.
43, Eric Jones, good track position early as they skate into turn 1.
54 snapping around a little bit there. Ty Gibbs under the braking zone of turn 1 as the field tries to through this little snake of a couple of corners, turns 2 and 3 and 4.
Turns 2 and 3.
Ginsburg down to the
4.
inside here toward the braking zone of turn 4.
I'll be right back again.
To the preferred lane.
Cut up to his clavicle. Joseph wins even when he loses. This is his wife, his Tuesdays, his hand-eye coordination.
Come on in, everybody. Stage 2.
Jawline in sports.
I'm
Not that handsome. And on Sundays, Joseph flies. Welcome to the fastest racing on earth.
An American music original by John Fogerty and Eric Church. Listen anytime. It's available to stream only on Amazon Music. I know Danielle, Carl, and Corey, they're toe tapping down there, aren't you guys?
Oh, we are just living for this action right here outside of turn 12, Adam. Good news, bad news for your stage 1 winner, Ryan Grace. Good news is he entered this race in the playoff outline. He's got a fast car. Bad news is no stage winner has gone on to win a race at a road course in the last 7. Let's talk conditions, guys. NASCAR right now is considering this a
Considering that drive? No, this is a mess, guys. And as a driver who's been in a stock car on a wet track and a drying track up in Montreal a while back, this is very, very difficult for the drivers. So hard to just manage the car around the track. And then to go fast, try to race people, very tough.
I'll tell you what's also hard is you just go from running 15 seconds faster now a dry-ish line, and you have to really toe that line of grip to go find what course. We know there's 10 more seconds on the racetrack of pace than what these guys are used to. That's the challenging part.
Yeah, we saw that one of these Kyle Busch just drive down in there and lost the rear. It can happen to anybody. It's very treacherous.
Who's impressing you thus far? SVG not feeling good, but he's running good. Ryan Blaney also performing well.
SVG said he doesn't like to race in the rain. Amazing. Ryan Blaney, what did he tell us this morning?
I said 1 to 10. What's your confidence if this thing goes on wet? He goes -2. So Blaney actually drove to the front, feeling really good. But I'm really excited to see how SVG manage these slicks up against these 4 guys on wets and see how he can get control of this race again.
I'm interested to see what Mother Nature's going to do because she could throw a wrench into this whole game plan.
The radar is all green. I don't know why it's not raining right now.
It's rainy season here in Mexico. I mean, you guys are doing a great job keeping up with the food.
It's a lot to manage, that's for sure. Let's get ready to start Trevor.
Austin Sinrix in that chaotic race. His pictures probably get bored down there. Everybody else coming on rain tires going back and forth. He's still on those slick tires, the only car in the field that is yet to pit. So he's hoping this track is drying out. It's going to come his way. Crew chief told him there's rain possibly another 20 minutes away. That would play out perfect for us to use these up, come down and get rain tires on.
As you see right here on the left-hand side, great update, Trevor, of Cindric, who is on slicks, as you see on the left, but on slicks that are older than everyone else's slicks. The front 4 on wets. Remember, in the damp, the wets are better. In the dry line, the dries are faster. I don't know what that means into turn 1, but we're going to see which one has more grip.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the wets still have more speed because the track still seems a little messy to me. And the wets are softer. They can be fast. They degrade very quickly, and they've been on these cars for quite a while now. How much more, if any, do they have left?
Spire teammates on the front row, McDowell and Hocevar, both looking for their first win of the year.
Now back 1 lap down.
Hocevar cutting it wide. Return to the green flag to begin stage 2.
Yeah.
McDowell blocking that low line.
McDowell's blocking that low line.
Play. Lay it on Suarez into the corner. McDowell gets away with it. Suarez, the 99 his way around. Chaos behind him.
Yeah, big spin in the back. Mason. Gregson is going to pull away.
Did you hear the crowd reacting as Suarez got the lead? This is outstanding. Won yesterday, and here he is on point in Mexico City.
Looks like those flicks are handling pretty well the first third of this lap.
So this is where I think the ones are going to have an advantage is through the S's because there's still some puddles and some areas that the drivers have to be careful, although that line is looking much drier.
Hey, Daniel.
Off by Suarez. It needs to let Suarez lead into the stadium here, so we're not going to fan.
Okay. Side by side as they get to the corner. And here they are into the stadium. Battle for the lead. High Gibbs stealing the moment, 54 on point. And here comes Suarez teammate Shane Van Gisbergen trying to get second.
High Gibbs going to try to check out here as these two argue over second place. Suarez is going to keep it for now. Here comes the run. And then McDowell trying to get some dampness down there on the inside for those wet tires. Continue to allow them to.
We're going Gibbs just turned the fastest lap of the day. That'll pay a point at the end of the afternoon. Our Xfinity fastest lap.
How long did it take you to do that?
Something?
No, that other thing.
Cindric, fifth in the
What other thing?
Alex Baldwin right there. Haven't said his name today. Hard crash last week at Michigan. Questions about whether he would be able to race today. He's knocking on the door of the top 10 in the 48 Grandview Motorsports.
Richie back to the inside of Suarez, going to take it over here. Here's the 42. John Aaron Nemechek around. Exiting turn 3. Trying on board, looking down, the blaster on board. Starting to get a little rhythm now. Some running, track drying, a little bit more conditioning. Let's see right here, Mike McDowell on board. That's well over 100 miles an hour as he comes down to the second set of the S's. Now he's entering the stadium. Oh, Cindric comes darting by. Remember, McDowell on the Cindric on drive. That's where the guys really have a huge advantage is under braking.
I got to say, the job that Cindric has done to stay patient, keep it underneath of him, avoid any problems, racing on slicks in a very wet condition, and here he is running fourth now.
Here's a replay of John Aaron Nemechek getting turned around off the 45 of Reddick in turn 2. That's just a really tight, obnoxious corner.
Obnoxious is a good word. More real estate to gain here for Cindric. Driving below Suarez. Coming through another tough part of the racetrack. Off the 3 over to 4.
Now, if you're Suarez or any of those cars that are still out there in the wedge, you know you're going to lose time. You're going to try to get far enough into this run to get you into some fuel windows to come to pit road. I think there's no doubt that a pit stop is coming. The same for Cindric, remember. He hasn't put any fuel in his car since the start of the race. This is a very racy track. A lot of opportunities to push and shove.
Bowman right there, making a run on the 77. Looks pretty racy. Going to drive to the inside here, take that spot away. Moves him up into 9th place.
A run on to him.
Michigan wasn't sure even if he's going to
Stage 2, lap 7. 25. Get
pretty well here early.
His best running position of the day at the 4th.
Well, not terribly, but everybody said this was a car to watch. And number 20. Second one McDowell, those wets still hanging in there.
An impressive run for Bell, as you mentioned, Dale, up to 4th, right? That 27 spots where he's
no.
Oh, man.
34.
A little bit of a blind spot as well. 14-15 combination. Moving around.
So many times when you go around here, you got a lot of room to manipulate the car, get it back going. This is one of the areas it's hard once you get turned around to get your bearings and get back in the right direction.
77 trying to get to pit road there, had everybody kind of 3 wide. See, the 77 pulls over to try to get to pit road. That puts them 3 wide. Just a bad situation for everybody.
The worst for Gelderland. Got spun around.
To get wet. He's had enough. And now still thinking.
Fine car execution. That means they have a plan on how much further they'd like to go. Knowing they're going to lose time, and he's happy with the game plan. Carl and I discussed this at the beginning of the race about, hey, you got to keep your driver up to date on what the plan is and how he's accomplishing it. Trevor.
Now the 71 of Michael McDowell starting to feel those tires wear out. Still within a couple seconds of the fastest times, but now the lap time's dropping down into that 94-second bracket. That's what we saw in practice. Crew Chief Travis Peterson was telling him, hey, go out there and run the dry line. I don't care if you blister these things. We're going to come soon. Actually, look at it coming this time, guys.
Both him and Suarez on the pit road. McDowell seemed a little more committed, or at least earlier in the game than Suarez. That was a late move. Here's the 71, Trevor.
Yeah, you're going to see dry tires or slicks go on the 71 car. Michael McDowell, obviously a great job managing that, staying out on those wet tires, was able to keep the track position.
And for Daniel Suarez, originally NASCAR airspeed wanted 10 to 12 laps on those wet tires during this stage. That's not the case. They ultimately decided they were done with the wet weather tires, putting on slicks. Suarez saying, I don't have much. We'll get another read of it on these slick tires.
And after these two have pitted, that leaves Stenhouse is the only car out there on wet tires. Cindric on low fuel running third. We can expect pit stops out of both when we come back.
From racetrack to road, Mobile One Motor Oils make whatever you drive more beautifully.
So, you like NASCAR but don't know who to root for? Here's some Toyota legends you can get behind. Meet Tyler Reddick. First in the Xfinity Series and now he's here. Basically the Cinderella story if Cinderella drove 200 miles per hour. Then there's John Hunter Nemechek. New kid on the block. All gas, no brakes. Oh, and Denny Hamlin. Ever heard of Daytona? He's won it 3 times. No big deal. We have a lot of drivers. All legends. You pick. You in?
Whenever we're set up for long runs, this is a huge season for us. I'm sorry, I just don't think running pre-stands going to take.
Please be careful and worry about you.
Here I am. Remember, have fun out there.
Smiling first can help someone find the courage to do the same.
A Chewy pharmacy order is on the way for Homer, the homebody who prefers the great indoors.
Potty.
But nature does call, and outside is outside. So Mom uses Chewy to get his flea and tick meds at a great price, delivered right to their door or right to the couch. For quality meds and great prices, for life with pets, there's Chewy.
I used to be an early bird, but psoriatic arthritis stopped my day before it started. Then things started to change for me when I found Bimzelx. Now I can't wait to say I'm back.
Bimzelx can deliver transformative relief of joint pain and stiffness, less fatigue, and for some, zero swollen joints.
I'm back to what inspires me.
Serious side effects like suicidal thoughts and behavior, infections and lowered ability to fight them, liver problems, and inflammatory bowel disease have occurred. Tell your doctor if you've had it or fevers, chills, muscle aches, or cough occur, or you've had a vaccine or plan to. Before starting, get checked for infections, tuberculosis, and liver.
Give yourself a chance to say, I'm back.
Ask your doctor about Bimzelx.
I'm an English. That's right. You can Wi-Fi outside now. This is fine. Feeling strong.
Wow, dude is
With all their devices connected to this guy.
We're going to race a NASCAR at Le Mans. We're going to do what? It's a 24-hour race. It's about survival. We have one shot and one opportunity to make this successful.
Round 16 for NASCAR's Cup Series takes us to Mexico City. And the coverage on Prime, presented by Chewy. 15 to go, stage 2. We get our race update. The numbers are in, Steve.
So I think the top 3 are easy to understand. SVG is currently great. I like Suarez as the emotion favorite, and he seems to be rising to the occasion. Chase Elliott, obviously one of the most popular.
Stage 2, 11 out of 25.
I have no
Out of 100.
idea. This race has been so chaotic with wets and dries and strategy. If you're confused watching, welcome into the boat, because I'm not exactly sure, other than the top 3, where everybody else stacks up. That's great. So we know, obviously, the more than 80 fast, but it's changes for the teams, changes for the drivers, and how the cars handle. So who might come from the middle of the pack with some real speed? Priest, we saw some other people like him fast in practice.
Maybe they rise back to the top of the leaderboard here. The track continues to change.
Well, we talked about what happens when you stay out on wet tires on a dry racetrack. And take a look at the tread here. We've got this rain, but also starting to blister here. It's not a groove. That's not supposed to be there. So these rain tires have really worn out. Caution, guys.
Caution number 4. This for Ryan Truex in the 11.
I want going to 77.
Just hanging out right here. A little bit wild.
You're right. I heard 77, but that was his hole to rejoin the race.
Yeah. You know, the track does have a dry line, but it is still dirty and nasty outside of that line. And he just missed the exit of the S's a little bit, got a bit wide. Okay. Buddy, just re-rack them. Never let him.
Still going. Let's just take a little bit of a time out here and kind of reset where the world is after all of this, right? So we have Gibbs leading, SVG second, Bell third. They're basically heads up, right? They're all on slicks. They're all on the fuel. Cedric is on slicks. He's yet to come to victory. I mean, what this young man did in the wet on slick tires should be applauded. He has kept his team in. Now he's going to have to put some fuel in at some point. Then you have Custer, Bowman, Byron, Ty Dillon, once again, running great in this 10 car. All of those guys are in the same situation on slick tires. So the field, other than Cedric, is pretty well reset after the chaotic start.
Brad Keselowski in the top 10. He's never won on a road course.
For Chevy, this isn't just a race. It's science at over 200 miles an hour. It's physics and engineering. Innovating and refining. It's testing our cars, our limits, and ourselves. And moving technology forward so we can all move forward together. Chevrolet.
Run ultra fast? You need an advanced dynamic system. Now the Denbix Motor X tire inflator has one. Shatters industry barriers. Small, as powerful as the large. But that's not all. A leading power bank. A powerful light beyond your imagination. Denbix Motor X redefines your journey.
A diagnosis doesn't define you. Even ATTR cardiac amyloidosis, you've come a long way. Your practice never you did. So I would like for ATTR-CM to define you. You have the power of choice. Attruby is an oral medicine used to treat adults with ATTR-CM to reduce death and hospitalization. Quality of life, and we're 50% less likely to be hospitalized for heart issues, giving you more chances to do what you love with who you love. If you're pregnant, or are breastfeeding, and about the medications you take. The most common side effects were mild and included diarrhea and abdominal pain. If you have ATTR cardiac amyloidosis, ask your cardiologist if Attruby is right for you. It's time to get busy living.
I apologize for not saying it yet. Happy Father's Day to everyone. And we've had some great father-son combinations over the years in NASCAR, the Pettys, the Jarretts. There you are, Dale.
Yeah.
Love it. Chase
Elliott.
Bill. And the next generation.
That's right.
Greg Highland Brexton.
I don't think it's going to be long either. As soon as Braxton is eligible, we're going to see him.
Maybe I should put generation with the quotes, right?
Yeah. Kind of a little bit of a intersection right here. Most teams were trying to get to maybe a couple laps to go on the stage and come to pit road. This
Yeah. See ya, everybody. Stage 3, then